Alright, folks. I deleted 2 videos before this because I forgot what I wanted to talk about. But after listening to Myron Golden, let me tell you something about Myron Golden. You got people out there that are being accused of prosperity preachers. Myron Golden is not a he's not a pastor. He doesn't run a church, but he runs a network. He runs a business. He runs a number of corporate businesses. He's got people working under him, and he works under people, and he's a millionaire, or might be a billionaire. I'm not sure. Either a millionaire or a billionaire. And he's making even more money because he's selling his books. And he's very honest. He tells you how that works. He tells you how, if you can sit down for, a week, a month, a year at the most, and write a book that somebody's going to read, you can bring you innocent wealth for the rest of your entire life, depending on how good and important that book is to read. His name is Myron Golden. Myron Golden. And you got these people out here teaching prosperity in the church. Myron Golden is doing it the opposite way. He's teaching you the Bible while he teaches you business. He comes to you like your typical Robert Kiyosaki, and your Dr. Ramsey or whatever. I forget, Dave Ramsey, and he's telling you, he's giving you choices, but this is the thing, everybody, most of the people, I reckon, that are going to come around Myron Golden, I don't know if it's Byron or Myron, I think it's Myron Golden, I'll put his name in the description, okay? If you are somebody like me who is sick and tired of not having choices in your life, if you're sick and tired of neighborhood problems, if you're sick and tired of, not being able to give your family what they deserve, if you feel like you're tired of not giving your wife what she deserves and all like that, you want to listen to somebody like Myron Golden, okay? I'll put his name in the description so that I make sure I got it right. I believe it's Myron Golden, but if not, you'll see Byron Golden in the description. But anyway, what Myron Golden does is he comes from the other angle. You may look at people like Kenneth Copeland, Cliff O'Dollar, and other people that are AKA known to be prosperity preachers. Okay, that's their title that they don't give themselves. People give them those titles because they care about your money. They care about you making money. Okay, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think they need to be careful that they don't stray away from the fact that they are pastors before they are money people. But if I go to a Cliff O'Dollar channel, I'm not going to see 100 videos on money. There's going to be videos on marriage, on prayer, the world we live in today, parenting. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be all about money. But see, this is what the world does. They don't listen when you talk about marriage or when you talk about prayer. They're not going to listen. They listen when you talk about money because they feel that you don't have a right to make it. Because why? When you talk money, you're going over, in their mind, you're going over into their camp and tampering with their stash. So they're going to listen. It's just like when I do atheist videos. I'm going to get comments in the section. I'm going to get views. If I say the word atheist on a video, I'm going to get views. If I say the word Hebrew Israelite on a video, on the title of a video, I'm going to get views. You should see. Go to my channel and look at them 2 or 3 videos I did about Pastor Charles Dow. And I have proof, unless everybody's lying on them, proof that what's going on over there in Straightway ain't all godly, ain't even close. You can speak in tongues all you want, and I'm a firm believer in that. But you can speak in tongues all you want. You can jump around and criticize Christians and all that all you want to. But you know what I'm saying? What's really going on? He did a video just yesterday, I think it was, I watched, where he was complaining about people leaving Straightway. And he was saying, oh, they just want the world. No, they just want a good... what they really want to be is what God has called us to be. God didn't call us to be Israelites. He called us to be Christians. That's what they want. God called us to be Christians. He didn't call us to be Israelites. So translate all that Israelite BS into Christians. Because what you're doing as an Israelite, you're leaving out the New Testament, and you're taking away from Jesus and giving it to the law, and you're giving it to Moses and Abraham and sacrifices that we don't have to make anymore. Days we don't even have to practice anymore. You're giving that all to the Old Testament. No, Christianity is in the New Testament. The Old Testament is just a tutor to show us how we got to this point. But the New Testament is the structure of the church. The structure of the church is not in the Old Testament. You're not living in that time. Okay? Where do we talk about the new covenant at? Way down in Jeremiah, when the Old Testament is almost over. We talk about the new covenant. Okay? And then you close at Malachi, and we have between the testaments. And what happened between the testaments? Wasn't everybody becoming Israelites? But they began to build up Judaism, not Israelitism or Israelism, whichever one you want to call it. They built up Judaism over time between the testaments. And when Jesus came, he rebuked Judaism. Israelism is not really that much different. Except people that practice Judaism, they have a made-up religion where they have at least common sense. We're not cutting lambs. We're not sacrificing lambs. We're not practicing all these days. We practice certain things because it became not so much our religious, well, it became a more religious rite instead of more about our religion, and it became our culture. Because that's what we do. But they're not looking at it like, oh, you're not getting to heaven unless you do all these different things. And they're not judging Christians based on what they do. What they do, they assume that is part of their culture, their religion. But Dow is judging Christians based on what his Israelite cult does and doesn't do. And that's bad, okay? Enough of that. I'm here to talk about my part 2 of money. And I know sometimes people get lost when you talk about it. But Myron Golden, he said the words right out of my mouth when he went to 1 Kings chapter 3. Now, before I go there, I want to say this. If you're looking for better choices in your life. You don't get choices when you work, an 8 hour, a 40 hour, okay? And people tell you what to do. They tell you when you can go on vacation and all this kind of stuff. No. And the richest people in the world, the people that have become rich in this world, have also been poor. They have suffered the right to be rich. Most people. That is the difference between people that are rich and people that want to be rich but can never get there. Okay? A lot of people want to be rich because they always want to be above everybody in their family. They want to be above their friends and all like that. They want you to look at them and say, look what I got. Bye. Okay? And they don't want to have nothing to do with you. They want to take their riches and go. And that's the attitude. I felt that way at one time in my life. But I'm in a situation right now where I believe God is changing the playing field so that I can enter into higher things. And this Myron Golden, if I'm saying his first name right, it's either Byron or Myron, he is saying things that are, oh my God. And he's saying the words out of my mouth that I'm not studying and I'm not saying because my mind don't go to that level. God has blessed him to say it. And he's coming from a different end where you got these prosperity preachers preaching money while they're supposed to be preaching the gospel. He's doing the opposite. He's preaching the gospel as a motivational money making billionaire who is leading other people. He's helping them find out the secrets of becoming billionaires, and he's letting you know the secrets belong to the Bible. The secrets are in the scriptures. They're not out there where people have this greediness to make money. Everybody wants the same thing. That's not how you make money. You make money by seeing your need and God's need within you and what God wants. And if God can use you just as good or better with money, God has got no problem with you being rich. But if you know, there's this girl, her name is Helen Ivy. Helen Ivy is her name. You might know her. She's a African guitarist, and she's doing a series of videos right now where she said goodbye to guitar. Why did she say goodbye to guitar? Because her playing guitar was getting in the way of her spiritually. And I noticed she X'd out the comment section. She don't want no comments because people don't understand. I understand because I've been there. And I'm thinking, well, if you wasn't doing all that secular music and trying to impress all these big people, you wouldn't feel this way. And now she's, ever since she kind of put the guitar down, she said she's being followed, she's being harassed. This is how good this girl was. It's like people going after these so-called prosperity preachers. Notice I said so-called. Because they dare to come over there and they're right as an American make the same billionaire or the same billions, that they want to make on the secular side of things, but they do it as a Christian. Okay? Why? Because it shows. One thing about Christians making money, big money, and it gets out there, everybody is going to judge them because it shows you that the devil don't have as much power over money as everybody thinks he does. Even as Christians think he does. The Bible says the love of money is a root of all evil. Not money itself, but the love of money. Some people want to make money in their flesh. You can do anything in your flesh. You can have sex with your wife in your flesh and it could end up in divorce. You say, well, me and my wife are flesh, we're sexual beings, but when you get married, you're supposed to leave everything that she ever did as a sexually promiscuous person. Some of the stuff that she did that guys was constantly calling her for, you know what I'm saying? Guys wanted to hook up with her all the time. They were chasing her all over the place. The reason why guys were getting in line for her, you know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean. Because her secrets were out there. Her sex appeal was out there on the street. And, and some guys, they married their wives like that. Like, they only want their wives for sex. Give me sex and then shut up. Well, wait a minute. First of all, your wife doesn't give you sex. You want to make love to your wife when your wife wants to be made love to. You want to make love to your wife when your wife wants to be made love to. Even though you as a man may always be ready and desiring of it, especially in the flesh, your wife's not wired that way. Even on a secular level, she's not really wired that way. Okay? She's really, really, really about, she always wants to bring it back to intimacy and closeness, not just about, sperm and orgasms, okay? She wants to be loved. And if she's going to be loved by a man and a man is going to be this sexual animal, okay, it is marriage itself that shows a man how to control see, a lot of married men, more than single men, are learning how to control their sexual desires. Because you have two choices. You have either you change the way you feel about sex, or you cheat on your wife. Some of y'all having sex most of the time, not all the time. Some of y'all having sex every night. Some of y'all having sex once a week. Some of y'all having sex once a month. Some of y'all having sex once a year. Especially people that are dumb enough to marry a woman and then say God called you to be a missionary. Yeah, you're going to get laid once a year, and then when you come back home from Africa, she don't want to sleep with you because where you been? She didn't marry you for you to leave her alone for months at a time. Okay? Not no men to do that. Then they wonder why their relationship with their wife is so quiet, because you're going half the time. And then you come home and your wife is like, well, how was it? Okay, well, I'm going to bed, and I'm going to read a book, and good night. Because where you been? She didn't run up on you and jump on you and start stripping your clothes off. She didn't miss you like that. Why? Because she knew that before you left, you didn't miss her. You knew you was going to be going that long, and it didn't bother you. You didn't try to say, let me make sure this was the will of God. Okay? But now, another thing I want to say, speaking on that, is that money, and a lot of Christians don't know this that haven't been there. And if they don't study, if they don't pray, and if they don't pray beyond what's being said in the news, said on YouTube, and all like that, they get into this rut where they go to thinking stuff and it's not biblically sound. Okay? So, one of the problems that we have is that, look at the sexual revolution. Money is a big issue for the sexual revolution. Money, and that doesn't change in Christ. That doesn't change in a Christian marriage. And I've looked at There ain't nothing like when a woman loves a man. And a woman can love a broke man who doesn't have a potential to get ahead in life. He's just going to stay working at McDonald's, and every now and then he going to buy her something. He going to go poor to buy her things and stuff like that. But imagine a woman being in love with a man that is a billionaire, or a man that is a king. Now, in the movies, they show, now, I will say, if a woman is part of you being rich, if she was supporting you and spearheading you and had your back when you was down, and then she would stay with you when you went up, and she didn't take your money and run, okay, that's a good woman. Usually it's better if a woman hooks up with a man that she had to be with him both poor and rich than if she's with a man only when he's rich. Because if she's with a man that's already rich when she meets him a lot of times, then she's got one thing on her mind, and that's how this pertains to her, him being rich. But there are women out there, whether they been married to this man a minute or whether they've been married to this man for years, they love everything about this man. And there ain't nothing like when a woman loves a billionaire. And some of y'all might be saying, well, any woman can love a billionaire. And there's a lot of women that will love a man just for his money, even in the church. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay? That's why, you should always, that's why most of the time it works if a woman is, what was I going to say? It works if a woman has a certain amount of income. She's somewhat independent with a desire to be a submissive wife. See, the problem with marriage today, women don't want to be submissive because they're being submissive for men that don't prepare for their marriage. They don't say, hey, I'm going to go out and get married, so I'm going to go get my college degree. I'm going to go work this, work that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start buying these items and buying these items and save this kind of money in the bank. They don't prepare for marriage. The only thing that's prepared is their penis. That's it. Men simp women every day, and they don't care what they have to offer. They don't have a home. They don't have a car. They don't even have, a second or third date lined up for this woman. They just taking what they get as fast as they can get it. And then you wonder why the woman doesn't respect you later on in your relationship. Because we can pull some things out of the biblical culture. See, when Solomon was practicing polygamy, his women knew that he's just a sucker. He's just a sucker for coochie, and he's just a sucker for, getting a sperm out there. Okay? No woman falls in love completely with a man that she has to share with other women. Okay? I don't care. If he's sleeping with these women, I don't care if it's once here and there just to have children by him. Okay? I think without the Bible telling you, so common sense tells you that when Abraham and Sarah chose to put Hagar in between them to have Ishmael, I'm pretty sure their marriage took a different turn. Actually, drastically, because Sarah told Abraham, the Lord judge between me and you. But she was the one that asked him to do it. But she expected, just like the Garden of Eden, she expected him to be the man. It was up to him to say no. And he could have said no, and she would have been upset, but she would have respected him for it. Okay? Just like the Garden of Eden. Adam could have said no, but he didn't want to, and that's the way we are in the world today. We don't want to upset these women. But do you know that most rich men don't care about upsetting women? It's his way or the highway. And a woman will fall in love with a man that has everything he needs to be independent of a woman. A woman loves a man that is independent and able to take care of himself with the understanding that he loves her. But if she stabs him in the back, if she play the field while they're together, if she embarrasses him in front of other men, she put other men before him, she shows any disloyalty, she's the one that's losing, not him. He might have a little bit of a broken heart, or maybe a lot of a broken heart, and see, that's where money gives a man power. Men that have lots of money, unless they're buying prostitutes, don't give their strength to women. Okay? They don't give their strength to women. And men that are experienced and have been played and have seen women gold digging and wanting to be sugar babies and all this stuff, these men, when women come up to them and start, buzzing around them, they look at them like, what you want? What can I do for you? Well, I'm going to be busy. But yeah, I'd like to sit down with you and have a cup of coffee or something. Let me talk to you later about that, But they ain't like these men that ain't got no money. They're going around and like, whoa, hold up. Where you want to get together right now? Hey, like, when can I see you again? Like, can I get your phone number? Now you begging. That lets us know where that relationship is going from the jump. Because you're begging. And see, these are things that men that don't have money do. Most men that make money, good money, legally, are alpha males. Knowing how to handle money is one of the things about being an alpha male. Alpha male is not about just having money, though. It's about being a good steward of your finances. No matter how rich you are, how broke you are. And that's another thing. A lot of women can appreciate a man that has a vision and a goal. Okay, let's say you're not rich, but you have a track record. You have a list of jobs that you want to move into. So you're working this job, but you know that you're on the bottom working this job, but you already got your application and your resume in to work in this job. One thing that women love to talk to me about, women that don't know me love to talk to me about, is what I want to do with my future. When I start talking about me leaving my job, when I start talking about, other jobs that I want to do, I want to make more money, I want to leave the state, or I want to leave the city, I want to go some other place. These women look at that and they say, And I've never met a woman that didn't want to sit down with me and pause for a minute to listen to me talk about my future. Especially if my future was going up a ladder, was trying to do better than where I'm at. Never met a woman that didn't pause and say, It didn't matter whether she was another man's wife or a young girl, an older woman. I started talking about my future. They listen. But everything else about you, they're like, is he talking while I'm trying to talk? He's talking. I'm the woman here. I'm supposed to be talking. But talk about your future. Talk about you wanting to be successful. Talk about where you want to get from the bottom and go higher. They're going to listen. They might, oh yeah. But again, and it's a fact, just pay attention. Women that are married to alpha males that know how to handle money are the most submissive, and they are the most giving, and the most, open and wanting and desiring to have regular sexual relations with their man. Money, and this is Bible, money opens a woman's legs, both in your marriage and to strange women out on the street. Money opens a woman's legs. Okay? It does. That's why Solomon had all those wives. And when judgment came and Solomon, was found with one wife in the book of Solomon, the romance was still there. Because why? He's still a powerful man. He's still an alpha male. Even after the kingdom fell, Solomon still had his wisdom that God gave him. And that takes us to 1 Kings chapter 3. I'm not going to read the whole thing here. But this was when Solomon was first becoming king, and Solomon complimented the Lord and praised the Lord for giving him this privilege to become king. And Solomon said in verse 7, "Now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David, and I am still a little child." Okay, he was a little child, "and I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people whom you have chosen, a great people, so numerous that they cannot be numbered or counted." Now, he was still young enough to call himself a child when the Lord requested that he be king. He would have been a Donald Trump. What do you mean, dear? What the heck are you saying? What I'm saying is, Solomon was not poor before he became rich. Solomon never had to work at McDonald's. A lot of people hating on Trump. Well, he's been rich all his life. He never did nothing to make money. His dad passed it down to him. David passed it down to Solomon. What's wrong with that? Your servant king in place of my father David. And I am still a little child and do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people whom you have chosen, a great people, so numerous that they cannot be numbered or counted. And Myron Golden was talking about this, where he was saying that not only did God give Solomon wisdom, honor, and riches, but Solomon cared about the people. He cared more about wisdom. But the reason why Solomon was rich was because God wanted to ordain. He wanted to show the beauty and power of Israel among those that were qualified to be good stewards. And Solomon, out of all the kings of Israel, he was the best one, that was the best steward of them all. Okay? Myron Golden was talking about this. Myron Golden, remember that. Numerous that they cannot be numbered or counted. Give your servant therefore an understanding heart to judge your people. Okay? This is what a lot of pastors need to be praying. And I believe the money will come along with it. Okay? That I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge among so great a people? It pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this. God said to him, because you have asked this and have not asked for yourself long life or riches or the lives of your enemies, but have asked for yourself wisdom, to discern what is right, behold, I now do according to your words. Behold, I have given you a wise and an understanding heart, like you asked, so that there has never been anyone like you in the past, and there shall never and there shall never arise another like you. So everybody ain't going to be wise or as rich as Solomon. Now, we find people like this in the New Testament, and, scattered throughout the Bible, you see people. But, because Solomon was David's son, the Bible speaks about him in detail. But everybody ain't going to be rich like Solomon. The Lord said, never will there be another one like you. They got what? Wisdom, riches, and honor. Okay? So, yeah. Everybody, Christians, as well as news people hating on people that got prosperity. I don't give a rat's behind whether they preach prosperity, and they shouldn't. All I care about is whether their prosperity is legal or not. And unless you can put them, and trust me, as a Christian, if you are doing something illegally to make money, and trust me, all these news companies are investigating these guys. They asked Ruslan, one of the guys that was defending Ruslan in this, 4-man set that I watched, panel debate that I watched yesterday, where Ruslan is being accused of, being a money bag and bragging about it. One of the things that they were asking Lacelia, the guy that was attacking Ruslan, they asked him, so what if Ruslan wants to make money not having much to do with the church? He just wants to make his 7 figures along with more about what he's doing outside the church, like the merch and the real estate and all that kind of stuff. And LaSalle still called him, no, that's not Bible, brother. That's not Bible. That's not Bible. Money is green. Okay? Just like, what can I think of? Something that we use every day. That's going to stay here on earth. I can't think of something. But money is green, just like anything else that is made by man. Okay, it's green, and it ain't green like the fresh grass. Money is secular. It was not made by God. That's why God don't invest in it as much as the kingdom of Satan invests in it. But God also understands that in order for his people to survive, in order for him to claim that the righteous will not be forsaken or his seed begging bread, he has to have some authority over money. And just like Myron Golden said after he got done reading about Solomon, he says this in every video. He says it is the Lord that gives wealth. It is the Lord that makes one rich. And it's not just Christians, it's anybody. And the Lord got that, he took that realm. You think Satan has it? No. Show me in the Bible where Satan controls all the money. He doesn't. The Bible says every time a sinner dies, every time a wicked person dies, he leaves for the righteous. So, money is not just for the world and about the world. Okay? Money is for God's people to survive on this planet that will use money to harm them by stealing money and spending money to harm them, to harm us as Christians. It's just like our right to have guns. That's what I meant to say. It's just like our right to have guns. You can't take them to heaven with you. But, okay, if a person break in that door to persecute me in my own home, and he ain't got a badge he ain't got a federal badge to do it, I'm going to give him, I don't care how many of them are, I'm going to give him the worst fight ever. And, if I survive, they're going to say, man, Mr. Cruz, you looking really bad. And I'm going to say you should see the other 5 guys. Okay? And money works the same way. Okay? Secular people got rich people who look, but they get mad when we got people that can do it too. We got Christians that, we can drive Lamborghinis too. We can drive Mitsubishis and Rolls Royces too. And they get mad. And God wants them to be put to shame. He wants them to continue to be upset that we can have what they have and still have it better than them, because we are living on the righteous, holy side of things, and they, of course, are going to use money to what? Continue to pour money into alcohol in the red light district, women, practicing fornication, prostitution, pornography. You know what I'm saying? They're investing all their money in those things. Not only that, but they're investing money into racism and protesting dumb things and everything that's evil. Whereas we Christians, we're going to build churches with that money. We're going to build positive, strong families, wealthy families. Put our kids in safe schools. Have wives that really, really have everything they want and everything they need. Enjoy their wives that enjoy their husbands, husbands that enjoy their wives, and all this can be centered around money when you do it according to Scripture. Okay? And some men, they might not have a good marriage until way later on in their older years. But with that kind of money he packing, his wife ain't going nowhere. She ain't taking no chances. While he's out, she living on a beautiful little plot of land, patio, swimming pool, all that good stuff that she wants. He go to work, she's in the pool swimming. Okay? She ain't going nowhere. Okay? She ain't going nowhere. And if she knows that he just waiting for her to cheat on him, because there's other things she ain't doing. He just waiting for her to cheat on him. And she knows she out the minute she does. She ain't going nowhere. Because money keeps her at home. Because how many men? That's why everybody don't make money. It ain't like, she can just go next door and the guy next door makes as much money as her husband. Or she can go to church and the pastor makes as much money as her husband. Or go to another pastor and he makes as much money as her pastor husband. Or whatever. No, it's never like that. Okay? Now, there's people who make enough money, okay, and invested their money into the middle class, high class community, but that doesn't make them necessarily millionaires or billionaires. They just invested everything into that. And now that they have it, now they got the house, they got the cars, but they're never home to enjoy it because they got to work to keep up. They got to work their butts off to keep up. And women, a lot of times, go to looking around. And in a situation like that where you got to work to keep up, women, especially if they have to work, and especially if they spend time at home and their husband ain't there, everybody in the neighborhood is struggling to keep their swimming pool, to keep their $1 million house, because they really didn't have the money to get it, so they're struggling to keep it. Women tend to cheat. Women tend to cheat when you got all this, but you can't be a good steward of it. You don't have no way of keeping it. You don't. Are you going to pay for the contractors to come in and fix things? Some of us can't. We get a leak. That house started leaking. We ain't got the money to fix it. We don't have, enough money to pay for somebody to come clean out the pool, and we done bought all this stuff. But we don't have the stewardship or the finances and the backhoe in the pantry to take care of it. That's the difference between being a billionaire and someone spending billions, or being a millionaire and spending millions. A millionaire always has basically $1 million in the bank. That's his net, is $1 million. That's what he has to himself every month. He's able to spend $1 million or keep $1 million in the bank untouched. That's a millionaire. A billionaire, same thing. He got $1 billion in the bank that doesn't get touched unless he wants to buy something for himself. That is a billionaire. A billionaire is not a person who just spends billions of dollars. Okay, but he got 2,000 in the bank. That's not a billionaire. Okay. Anyway, in closing. It pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this. God said to him, because you have asked this and have not asked for yourself long life or riches or the lives of your enemies, but have asked for yourself wisdom to discern what is right. I wonder why he didn't ask for the life of his enemies, because that's the job of the king. But he didn't ask the Lord for that, and the Lord was pleased with that. I'm gonna find out why as I when I come back and start reading through the book of 1 Kings. But have asked for yourself wisdom to discern what is right. Behold, I now do according to your words. Behold, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has never been anyone like you in the past, and there shall never arise another like you. I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that no kings will compare to you all of your days. If you will walk in my ways, keeping my statutes, my commandments, as your father David did, then I will lengthen your days. Solomon awoke, because he was having a dream, and behold, it was a dream. Then he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings and peace offerings, and made a feast for all of his servants, because he believed what the dream had said. So, that's enough. That's my part 2. I could talk about this all day, but one thing I'm learning from Myron Golden is that money is choice. Money is power. Money is evening the score. Money is, stability. It's and to say that Christians cannot invest in money, they can't try to be rich, they can't say like Ruslan, I need 7 figures to do what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Who are you to say that? The Bible doesn't say that. Okay? So I really wish we would chill out with this prosperity preacher garbage, because you say, well, they preaching prosperity. What they got to do with the Bible? It ain't got to have nothing to do with the Bible. Even though it does, it don't have nothing to do with the Bible. Because money is secular. You're not taking it to heaven with you. But if you think God is not in control, if you think God ain't got money reserved up for the righteous, you tripping. Because God knows money more than Satan is the God of this world. Satan will use money. Let me tell you something. Without money, Satan is nothing. All you have is violence to get what you want. You got purge night. You got, road runner. Okay? Just running around. You want sex, go rape a girl. You want food, go kill somebody and take it. You need a pair of shoes, kill somebody and take them. Okay? That's what you got. But without money, Satan cannot make non-Christians look good and powerful and happy and peaceful. Nobody, especially in the world, is happy and peaceful if Satan can't use money to do it. Satan uses money. But if he had the power of money the way you think he does, there would be no Christian with money. Okay? And if money was all about the devil, God would never allow a Christian to have money. God would have never gave Solomon riches. Riches would have been totally excluded from anything Christian. But we go right past the scriptures and say, well, no, let's go over it. No, like Myron Golden, put all the scriptures together. Don't just say, well, over here, your denomination, because y'all a little small country church ain't going nowhere much. Y'all don't believe in mega churches, so y'all got to preach these sermons over here in the New Testament and claim that we can't use the Old Testament, okay, and vice versa, okay? Money never received the new covenant. Money is the same in the old covenant as it is in the new covenant. Just like the devil is the same in the old covenant as he is in the new covenant. Okay? Alright? Just like the sword is the same in the Old Testament as it is in the New Testament. In Romans chapter 13, did God justify them picking up the sword? Yes, he did. Okay? So, let's know the Bible and not know denominations that hold us back from things. Like, I know my church, my pastor. I think if I ever became rich, my pastor would disown me. If my pastor thought I was driving around in a Mitsubishi after all the money he's had to loan me over the years, and all the times he, had to, cover my behind, I think he would disown me. I would probably go in church and try to give him a hug, and because he's one of them kind of people that believes that, you can preach prosperity and be wrong. No, you can't. You can spend too much time talking about prosperity when you need to be talking about more spiritual stuff, but you can't preach about prosperity and be wrong. Okay? You can't. Okay? That's why I don't understand why people get all, blown out of proportion about so-called prosperity preachers. Him preaching about prosperity might be the only thing he said, according to Scripture, better than the other stuff he said. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, that a lot of these prosperity people, as you call them, there's no such thing, but that's what you call them. A lot of these preachers are more about the money than they are about the Lord. They're more about, and there are people out there like that. But a lot of times when you judging and you saying these people are ripping off their saints, you ain't had an interview with a single saint to go to the Kenneth Copeland church. Okay, and like I said in the last video, I've been to mega churches where I pulled up into the lot and saw all the cars there and decided to park my car in the back. Why? Because every car there was like an Audi and up. Okay, Mitsubishi and up. There wasn't a Nissan or a Toyota in that lot. I can park next to a Nissan because I love Nissans and I've owned some, but I ain't never owned an Audi or a Mitsubishi, or anything higher than those two. Okay, and all these pastors, and then the other thing, like I said in the last video, you don't realize how much money is being dished out. The pastor ain't the only one making money. Everybody in a mega church gets paid. Everybody. You got pastor after pastor after pastor. They're all getting paid. Worship team's getting paid. You talk about a business. It is a business. People travel from one part of the world and go to a mega church to start a career, to support their families. Okay? But, nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about how the pastor is rich while he shares riches with other people. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about, how, if you're going to condemn the prosperity preacher, condemn the whole church. Because ain't none of them broke. And the reason why they can put so much money in the offering plate is not because the pastor is robbing them or deceiving them. It's because rich, pays to rich. Rich gives to rich. It's the same way in the Christian world as it is in the secular world. Rich people take care of their rich partners. Rich people flock together. And y'all tripping. You know. You need to quit tripping and let the Bible be the final authority, Genesis to Revelation, not just certain passages where you feel that the Bible condemns somebody. You know, everybody ain't in a situation like the rich man and Lazarus. Everybody ain't in that situation. Everybody ain't the centurion that, you know, all he cared about was his riches. So God told him, you know, give all you have and give to the poor. Okay? You can't give all. Everybody can't give all they have and give to the poor. First of all, because then you would be poor. Okay, Jesus already died on the cross, and what's it say? He became poor that we might become rich. Okay, and then when he said that to the centurion, he didn't mean sell all you have and become a poor person. He meant sell all your riches that you have, okay, and become, you know, an average person, and then come follow me. But he said that to him. That was a message for him. That wasn't a message for Christians. That was a message for him. And I don't think the centurion was a Christian. That was a message for him. That wasn't a message for Christians. Good video. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon with more, maybe in a couple days or less. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.